In this video, I want to show you how to make welt pocket. I'm going to be using a unique technique that's going to allow you to make 3 different types of welt pockets, whether it's a double, single, or uneven. You can use that technique. So if you guys ready, let's get started. So first we draw a line. Right, then we're gonna place the pocket in the middle. So the pocket for this is 12 centimeter, like that. Okay, then we're gonna measure 1 centimeter because that's how wide the pocket is gonna be. And of course we're gonna join them together. All right, basically that's the placement of the pocket. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the piece of fabric, using the same fabric, and do exactly the same thing. So sometimes I can place the fabric in the middle, like this, and if I pat it hard, I might be able to get it again on the other side. I wasn't lucky. No, so I have to redo it on this side. This is a single piece of fabric, no interface, no nothing, just a single piece. So what I want to do is I want to take a piece of interface and apply it in the back. So, okay, so I'm gonna lift the fabric and just mark. And this is the placement of the interface right there. Okay, all right, this is the little piece of interface. You place it right there, make sure it's in the middle. Okay, and you iron it. All right, so now this is the placement of the pocket. So we're gonna take our piece of fabric and place it right there, exactly where you placed the previous one. That's why you had to do 2 of them. Okay, so now we got the placement. We're gonna do the stitch going around the area that we mark. Okay, we start from anywhere, we go around it. Okay, you want to check the quality of the work. This is the back, this is the front. Looks very good. So what the next part is to cut. Before we cut, we're gonna mark 1 centimeter before, and we're gonna take the center and go outward like this. See? So we make some triangle at the corner. So we take a cut in the middle, right here, little cut. And now you can cut all the way until you get to that mark, which is 1 centimeter apart. And here you're gonna go out like that. Close, but not too close to cut the fabric, right? Go around. And same thing on the other group. Okay. All right, so this is good. Next thing to do is to use your finger to scratch it, because we're gonna turn it inside out. We're gonna scratch it first. The scratching allows the fabric to be out completely. You even want to do that on the side as well. Okay, now at this point we can turn it inside out. This way. And this way. So now this is where you're gonna use your iron sheet, because you wanna pull it out and iron it. For me, I like to use the corner, so I pull, see, and use my iron. So I'm gonna pull the corner and iron the corner. Pull. If you can pull it, it's because you didn't cut enough. So that's usually what it means. Pull and iron. Basically, keep using the iron to open. Alright, this is the inside, this is outside. Yeah, that's at the end, this is what you're gonna get, okay? So basically at this point, it's just a big opening. There's no welt yet, but that's where your imagination comes now. See, as a fashion designer, you're gonna have the option of decide whether you wanna have a single welt, a double welt, or a tilted welt. All right, the next part is to work with the welt. In this video, I'm gonna be using two separate colors. The only reason I'm doing that is to show you how it looks. Because I did it before and the video didn't come out well. The main reason is you couldn't tell if it's one or two. So I'm using two separate fabric now. So here you take your welt. This one is about 3 inches. You fold it in half. My fabric is very thick right now, so therefore I'm not gonna put an interface in it. So, but if your fabric is thin, I suggest you put interface, okay? I got 2 of them. All right, so this is the fun part. At this point, you're gonna put them together, okay? This way. I want you to run a zigzag like this. I'm gonna use my machine, and you have to use like a very, I will call it very loose zigzag, okay? So watch me carefully. So I'm gonna place it right there. Make sure the foot pressure is exactly in the middle. And I'm gonna use something loose. So I'm gonna use my number 6, like a zigzag, and use it to the widest possible. All right, so this is how it's gonna go. All right, this is how I attach them together. So what I want to do now is to kind of loosen up a little bit. Every couple one, you can actually cut it because it's still gonna stay together. See? Okay, so even though I cut it, it's still together. So now this is where what you're gonna decide. Are you gonna have a single welt? Let's say we're making a single welt, right? So now I put it right there. And I will pin it. Okay, and I pin it. And this will be technically your single welt. Why? Because the top, you can't see the top. So at this point, I will open up, like by, removing the thread on the back. See, I will remove them by here, each of them like that. And then do a stitch from the top and the bottom. And that will be your single welt pocket. Yeah. So, but I will be showing you how to put everything at the end. So I want to show you 3 examples. The first example is the single welt pocket, which you can use the same technique for a single welt pocket. Okay. The second technique for the double welt pocket. Basically, to have a double welt pocket, you just have to put them half and half. Okay, that's your double welt pocket right there, half. See, that's your double welt pocket. Same technique, you will stitch around and then you will add your pocket inside, and which I will be showing you at the end on the third technique. This is the same procedure but different technique. All right, this is for your double welt pocket. And the third way of using this technique is to use what we call a slanted welt pocket, which is my favorite. That's what I'm going to show you. So because it's slanted, you can decide to go this way. Yeah, this is really cool, guys. All right, and this is the slanted one. How do you guys like it? Now this one, I'm gonna finish it and show it to you. So my next step to do is to do a stitch around like that on the bottom only. Okay. All right, so now after I can remove the pin, this is how it's gonna look. So what I would like to do now is to, technically, I can remove the thread, okay? Because I already cut them, I just have to remove them now. All right, this is the pocket. See, it's functional already. Very good. So the next thing to do now is to attach the actual pocket. This is my fabric I'm gonna be using for the pocket. So I'm gonna take, so now remember it is slanted, so this is the tricky part of it. So because it's slanted, you want to make sure your fabric is straight. That's the tricky part. So it's gonna be straight, because you can't, if you stitch right there, your pocket is gonna be slanted, which is not good. So only the welt should be slanted, not the actual pocket. So what to do? Well, you just have to keep it straight. Let's put it this way, right? You take the pocket fabric and you put it exactly the way you want it. Okay, like this is straight right now, and you lift the longer one, and you see it's kind of not so straight, which is good. So you mark it, okay, mark, and now you're gonna do a stitch if you wanna actually make the actual mark. That's good, so that you know exactly where you're gonna sew. Now you're gonna take the fabric and place it right there and do your stitch. Okay, so you lift it and make your stitch, and then turn it and do a top stitch. Okay, at this point you can cut the extra welt fabric. Or any extra thread. So as you see, it's not straight, which is perfect. Now I can fold it and go all the way to the top. This is also when I can decide how long my pocket's gonna be, you know. I can go all the way here if it's too long, but if it's too short, that's a different problem. So, but at least you wanna stop at the very top, you know. Can be longer, but not shorter. So now, this is good. I can cut the edges of the bottom. You wanna fold it and find out the center. This is your center. Now, note the center is also tilted. So use your finger and scratch. Use finger, scratch. This tells you this is, you can, after you scratch it, you can pin, you can do a little cut. This way. And this is the area you're gonna put a piece of fabric that's gonna be like this. All right, this piece of fabric is the one that's gonna be right there, okay? So that's when, this is where I cut it. This is the center. It's gonna be exactly in the center, but it's gonna be a little bit lower on the top, like that, right here. So what I'm gonna do, I'll place this fabric like that, and I'm gonna turn it inside out. Since I'm not gonna use serger for this, so I'm gonna put it and do a stitch this way. Then I will fold it like that, okay? And cut the unnecessary fabric. Okay, we're doing pretty good. All right, next part we're gonna do is we're gonna put this new fabric. You see, I don't have to stitch the top on this one. So here you're gonna fold it and place in the center right here. So now what I have to do is to turn it inside out and do this stitch. So this, I'm gonna to basically do a stitch like this. Same thing on the other side. All right, so at this point I will do little trimming or cleaning like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna turn it inside out. And I like to use the scissor to softly open up the edges. Then I will keep using my finger to open up all the fabric like this, see? Use finger to open up all the way here. So, all right. So the next thing to do after that is I like to start with this area from here. I'm gonna take the pocket, turn it like this, do a stitch, and then keep going around, keep going here, all the way to over there, okay? So I fold the pocket only, okay? The white part of it, which is the pocket. Alright, so let's look at the back. See, the back is really nice, very professional. And this is the front. Yeah. Now, as you see, the bottom part is open. See, it's completely done. But the front, I have to close the welt. See? So before I close the welt, I'm gonna give you a surprise, guys. Alright, I'm gonna put a little flip in the middle. So to do the flip, I have to take the half of it. So half of 12 is 6, so it's gonna be right there, right here. Alright, so I'm adding a little flip to it. So I have this little piece of fabric, this way. I'm gonna fold it in half, and so 1 centimeter, just 1 centimeter, like that. So it's 1 centimeter over about 8 to 9 centimeters. So it might be too long, but it's better to be too long than too wide. So here I'm gonna cut, I'm using like a 1/4 inch cut. Okay, now I'm gonna open up it. I'm gonna scratch it before I go inside out. See, opening, scratch it with my hand. I don't have to iron it yet, just like that. And then I'm gonna use something to turn it inside out.
This way. Turn inside out.
This is where I iron. All right. So here, I'm gonna cut both sides like this. All right. So where do you think this one's gonna go? So first I'm gonna fold it. I want you to see, I fold it. Put it together and fold it. You can also iron it. Yeah, iron is actually good because you want that little pointy area. Here I'm gonna make a top stitch around this little flap. Alright, that's the little flap we're gonna add. It's gonna feel like it's a buttonhole as well, okay? So note that this is also a buttonhole because you can, put button. So now I'm gonna take my flap and insert it exactly where I place the center, right here. Yeah, this is cool now. All right, and now this needs to be secured. So I'm gonna pin it right here. Okay, basically then I am gonna do my top stitch from here to there, and all right. Okay, and we actually done, but I think what I'm gonna do to show you the functionality of the little flap is to put the button right there. Okay, so I'm gonna put the button. All right, so the pocket is done, and I can actually use it like this. All right, this is the final product. So what do you guys think of this technique? So this technique, I showed you how to use this principle to make whether it's a single welt, double welt, or slanted welt. It's like one for all. So you really don't need to learn any other way. This is really cool, and your imagination is your your limit basically. So thank you guys for watching, and if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And if you are returning members, thank you for watching my videos. I'll keep posting more stuff like that. And thank you, and see you in the next video. Beautiful.